What happened to the 12 tribes of Israel? Once united under kings and prophets, these ancient tribes shaped biblical history. But then, 10 of them vanished without a trace. Or did they? In this video, we uncover the mystery of the lost tribes, where they went, who claims descent from them today, and why their disappearance still matters. From Africa to Asia, from DNA to prophecy, we explore the hidden paths of a people scattered across the earth. Are the tribes really gone, or are they waiting to be rediscovered? The answers may shake the foundation of everything you thought you knew. The question of the 12 tribes of Israel, their identity, fate, and legacy, has fascinated scholars, theologians, historians, and spiritual seekers for millennia. Originating from the 12 sons of Jacob, who was renamed Israel, these tribes formed the foundation of the ancient Israelite nation. Yet, centuries ago, many of these tribes seemingly disappeared from the historical record, spawning the legend of the lost 10 tribes. But did they truly vanish? Or are their descendants scattered across the globe in hidden or transformed forms? This essay delves into the history of the 12 tribes, the mystery of their disappearance, evidence and theories about their fate, and why understanding their story still matters today. 1. The origins. Who were the 12 tribes of Israel? The Bible tells us that Jacob, grandson of Abraham, had 12 sons who became the patriarchs of 12 tribes that would form the nation of Israel. These sons were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, whose 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, each became tribes. Benjamin. These tribes settled primarily in the land of Canaan, later known as Israel and Judah. The tribes were political and religious entities, each with its own territory, except Levi, who were priests without a land inheritance. 2. The kingdoms of Israel, united and divided. After the Israelites settled in Canaan, the tribes united under a monarchy, first under King Saul, then David and Solomon. However, Solomon's reign ended in division. The southern kingdom of Judah, mainly Judah and Benjamin. The northern kingdom of Israel, the other 10 tribes. This division set the stage for what is often considered the central mystery, the fate of the northern kingdom. 3. The Assyrian conquest and the lost 10 tribes. In 722 BCE, the mighty Assyrian Empire conquered the northern kingdom of Israel. This event led to the deportation of many Israelites from the 10 northern tribes. The Assyrians had a policy of relocating conquered peoples to prevent rebellion and to assimilate them into their empire. The Bible describes this exile, but offers little detail about what happened afterward. Over time, these tribes faded from the biblical narrative, earning the name the Lost 10 Tribes. 4. Did the 10 tribes really disappear? Lost is a complicated word. It implies they vanished, but what it really means is that the 10 tribes lost their distinct identity as a political and religious entity in the land of Israel. Assimilation into other peoples. Many scholars believe the 10 tribes were dispersed throughout Assyria and neighboring regions, assimilating over generations into local populations. Through intermarriage, adoption of local customs, and loss of language, distinct Israelite tribal identities eroded. Survival through assimilation or migration. Despite the disappearance from historical records, some argue that the tribe survived through migration to various regions outside the ancient Near East. The question is, where did they go? 5. Theories and claims about the lost tribe's fate. Throughout history, numerous theories and traditions have arisen about the lost tribes. A. The biblical prophecy of return. Many Jewish and Christian traditions hold that the tribes will one day return or be reunited in the Messianic era, as predicted in prophetic books like Ezekiel and Isaiah. B. Migration into Africa. Groups in Africa claim descent from Israelite tribes, such as Beta Israel, Ethiopian Jews long identified with the tribe of Dan. They preserved Jewish customs and beliefs for centuries and were recognized by Israel in modern times. Lemba, Southern Africa, this group claims descent from ancient Jewish ancestors. Genetic studies have revealed links to Middle Eastern populations, including the priestly Cohen haplotype. See migration into Asia. Bni Minashi, India, and Myanmar, they claim descent from the tribe of Manasseh and maintain some Jewish customs. Some members have immigrated to Israel recently. Pashtun, Afghanistan/Pakistan, some Pashtun tribes claim descent from the Lost Tribes, citing cultural and linguistic parallels. D claims in Europe and the Americas. Some early explorers and settlers speculated that Native American tribes descended from the Lost Tribes, though this is widely disputed and considered more myth than fact. 6. Modern scientific insights, genetics and identity. Advances in genetics have shed some light, but also added complexity. Genetic evidence supporting some claims. The Lemba people have been found to carry genetic markers, Y chromosome haplotypes, common among Jewish priestly lines. Some Ethiopian Jewish groups show Middle Eastern ancestry markers. Limits of genetics. Genetics cannot conclusively prove tribal descent for many groups. Tribal identity historically combined bloodlines, religion, culture, and self-identification. Centuries of intermixing make tracing direct lines difficult. 7. The tribes that were not lost. The tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi mostly survived as distinct groups in the southern kingdom of Judah. After the Babylonian exile, many Jews returned to Jerusalem, preserving the Jewish identity we recognize today. The name Jew itself derives from Judah, highlighting the survival of that tribe's legacy. The tribe of Levi continued its priestly traditions. 8. Why do the lost tribes matter? The story of the lost tribes goes beyond history. It speaks to identity, spirituality, and prophecy. Spiritual significance. Many believe the reunification of the tribes symbolizes peace and restoration. In Jewish mysticism and Christian eschatology, their return is tied to the coming of the Messiah or the Messianic age. Cultural and political impact. Groups claiming descent from the lost tribes seek recognition and sometimes immigration rights. The story challenges narrow views of ethnicity and religion. 9. Were the tribes really lost or just hidden? The answer depends on perspective. Lost to history. They disappeared as distinct nations in the ancient Near East. Lost to identity. Many descendants may no longer identify as Israelites or Jews. Hidden in plain sight. Oral traditions and cultural practices in diverse peoples hint at hidden Israelite roots. Preserved by faith, scripture, and religious belief hold that God has not forgotten them. 10. The legacy of the 12 tribes today. Judaism and Israel. Modern Israel is largely descended from Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, but incorporates diverse Jewish diasporas. Global communities. Groups like the Beta Israel, Bni Minashi, and Lemba continue to seek ties to ancient Israel. Some Christian groups emphasize the spiritual heritage of the lost tribes. The enduring mystery of the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered but never vanished. The 12 tribes of Israel are among the most compelling and enigmatic subjects in history, theology, and anthropology. Emerging from the ancient patriarch Jacob's 12 sons, these tribes formed the bedrock of the Israelite people, shaping not only biblical narratives, but the cultural and spiritual identity of millions across millennia. Yet, while some of these tribes remained recognizable through history, the 10 northern tribes seemingly disappeared from the historical and religious record after the Assyrian conquest in the 8th century BCE. This disappearance has sparked centuries of curiosity, speculation, and spiritual yearning. But did they truly vanish? Or is their legacy alive, dispersed in unexpected places and forms across the globe? Rather than vanishing, the 12 tribes were scattered, sometimes hidden, often transformed, but never entirely erased. This ongoing story reminds us that identity is complex, history is layered, and faith transcends time and geography. In this essay, we will explore the mystery of the 12 tribes, how the 10 northern tribes lost their distinct identity, and the fascinating ways their descendants may still live on, hidden in plain sight or transformed through culture and belief. 1. The foundation. Who were the 12 tribes? The story begins with Jacob, also known as Israel, who fathered 12 sons. Each son became the progenitor of a tribe, forming the ancient nation of Israel. These tribes included Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph through his sons Ephraim and Manasseh, Benjamin. Together, these tribes settled in the land of Canaan, eventually becoming a powerful confederation with distinct territories and roles. The tribes were more than bloodlines. They represented a complex social and religious system that shaped laws, worship, and identity. The Levites, for example, were the priestly tribe, while Judah would eventually give rise to the Davidic monarchy and become the nucleus of Jewish identity. 2. The division and the fall of the northern kingdom. After the reign of King Solomon, the United Kingdom of Israel split into two. The southern kingdom of Judah, centered around Jerusalem and dominated by the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. The northern kingdom of Israel, which included the other 10 tribes. The northern kingdom was politically unstable and religiously divergent, often turning away from Jerusalem's temple worship. This instability made it vulnerable to external conquest. In 722 BCE, the powerful Assyrian Empire conquered the northern kingdom, deporting many Israelites and settling foreign populations in their land. This conquest marked the beginning of the disappearance of the 10 northern tribes from biblical and historical records, a turning point that gave rise to the concept of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. 3. The meaning of lost, disappearance versus transformation. The term lost can be misleading. It suggests total extinction or disappearance, but history and anthropology paint a more nuanced picture. Lost as dispersed. The 10 tribes were scattered across vast regions of the Assyrian Empire, which stretched across modern-day Iraq, Iran, Syria, and Turkey. The Assyrians had a policy of relocating conquered peoples to prevent rebellions. The Israelites were resettled far from their homeland, severing their political structures and religious centers. Lost as assimilated. In foreign lands, the exiled Israelites likely faced pressures to assimilate, to adopt the language, religion, and customs of their new homes. Over generations, their unique tribal identities may have blended into surrounding populations. Lost as hidden but surviving. Another perspective holds that while political and religious structures vanished, the tribes survived as distinct communities or subgroups, maintaining traditions in secret or altered forms. They may have migrated further afield, carrying fragments of Israelite identity with them. 4. The enduring mystery. Where did the tribes go? The question, where are the lost tribes, has inspired countless theories, explorations, and claims over centuries. The biblical promise of return. Many Jewish and Christian traditions emphasize that the tribes were never truly lost to God. Prophecies in Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Jeremiah speak of a future regathering and restoration of Israel, signaling hope and renewal beyond exile. 5. Global communities claiming lost tribe heritage. Numerous ethnic and cultural groups around the world claim descent from the lost 10 tribes, often preserving unique customs and narratives linking them to Israelite ancestry. The Beta Israel of Ethiopia. Perhaps the most famous are the Beta Israel, Ethiopian Jews. For centuries, they practiced Judaism with distinctive rituals, dietary laws, and religious texts. Many believe they descend from the tribe of Dan, one of the northern tribes. The modern state of Israel officially recognized Beta Israel as Jews in the late 20th century, enabling mass migration and integration. The Lemba of Southern Africa. The Lemba people maintain Jewish-like customs, circumcision, kosher dietary laws, and priestly lineage claims. Genetic studies reveal a high frequency of Y chromosome markers associated with the Jewish priestly class, the Kohanim. This scientific finding supports their oral tradition of Israelite descent. The Bni Minashi of India and Myanmar. The Bni Minashi identify with the tribe of Manasseh. They observe Jewish practices and have sought recognition and immigration rights in Israel. Their story illustrates the persistence of tribal memory far from the Middle East. The Pashtun of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Some Pashtun tribes claim descent from the lost tribes, citing cultural parallels and ancient oral traditions. While historical evidence is limited, these claims reflect the broader pattern of Israelite legacy beyond the Levant. 6. Cultural, genetic, and spiritual identity. A complex mosaic. While some claims to lost tribe descent are supported by genetics, others are based on cultural practices, language similarities, or spiritual belief. Genetics and DNA. Modern genetic testing can reveal ancestral links to Middle Eastern populations. For example, the Lemba's priestly lineage markers indicate historical connections to Jewish populations. However, genetics is not definitive proof of tribal identity because tribal identity includes cultural, religious, and social components. Centuries of intermarriage and migration complicate genetic continuity. Self-identification and tradition often carry equal or greater weight than DNA. Cultural and religious practices. Many groups claiming Israelite descent preserve customs reminiscent of biblical Israel, including dietary laws resembling kosher rules, observance of the Sabbath, circumcision rites, festivals and prayer practices, oral histories linking them to Israel. These practices serve as living links to a shared spiritual heritage, sustaining identity beyond bloodlines. 7. The tribes that were not lost, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. While the northern tribes faded from history, the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi largely survived in the southern kingdom of Judah. The rise of Judah and the Jewish people. After the Babylonian exile, many from these tribes returned to Jerusalem and rebuilt the temple, laying the foundation for modern Judaism. The name Jew itself derives from Judah, reflecting how the southern tribes became the primary bearers of Israelite identity through history. 8. Theological and prophetic perspectives on the tribes. For many religious traditions, the lost tribes are not just historical puzzles, but elements of divine prophecy and eschatology. Jewish eschatology. Jewish tradition anticipates a future gathering of all 12 tribes in the Messianic age, restoring Israel's fullness. Christian interpretation. Some Christian interpretations see the reunification of the tribes as a sign of the end times and Christ's return. These theological views maintain the tribe's significance beyond their physical dispersion, emphasizing spiritual restoration and unity. 9 lessons from the scattering. Identity, history, and faith. The story of the 12 tribes offers profound lessons. Identity is multifaceted. Identity is not solely biological or national, but includes faith, culture, language, and memory. The lost tribes show how identity can persist in new forms across time and space. History is layered and complex. The tribe's scattering reminds us that history is not linear or simple. Peoples migrate, assimilate, and transform, but roots often remain, waiting to be rediscovered. Faith transcends geography. Faith and belief create connections that cross borders and centuries. The hope of restoration continues to inspire communities worldwide. 10. Scattered, but never lost. The 12 tribes of Israel remain one of history's greatest mysteries, a story of exile, transformation, and enduring hope. While the 10 northern tribes lost their political and religious identity after the Assyrian conquest, their descendants may live on in surprising and unexpected places, inspiring countless communities around the world. Rather than vanishing, these tribes were scattered, sometimes hidden, sometimes transformed, but never entirely erased. Their story teaches us that identity is complex, history is layered, and faith transcends time and geography. The legacy of the 12 tribes continues to unfold, inviting us to explore, rediscover, and honor one of humanity's most ancient and enduring narratives. The mystery of the 12 tribes of Israel is far from over. Though history calls them lost, prophecy suggests they're merely scattered, awaiting a divine return. From ancient scrolls to modern DNA, the truth continues to unfold. So, did they really vanish? Or are they hidden in plain sight, carried in the bloodlines and stories of people across the globe? If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more hidden histories and spiritual truths. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Could you be part of this ancient legacy? Until next time, stay curious, stay awake, and remember, the truth is never lost.